The narrative, as typically spun, is a rags-to-riches tale. A hairdresser, a call-center drone, finds her voice, crafts explicit bangers, and bam! Viral sensation, charting hits, industry recognition. But that glosses over the sharp edges, the calculated risks, and the raw, unapologetic hunger that fuels Sexyy Red's ascent. Let's be blunt. This isn't just about authenticity. It's about calculated provocation. It's about weaponizing sexuality in a way that both titillates and challenges the predominantly male gaze of hip-hop. The weaponization of sexuality, empowerment or exploitation. The real question. The core debate surrounding Sexyy Red isn't whether she's empowering. That's a sanitized, academic framing. The real question is, to what extent is she strategically deploying hypersexuality to achieve dominance in a cutthroat industry? Let's be intellectually honest. Sex sells. It always has. And Sexyy Red understands this on a visceral level. She's not just expressing herself. She's leveraging a potent force to cut through the noise and stake her claim. The MLK Day incident, for example, while seemingly a PR disaster, arguably amplified her notoriety. Controversy, in today's attention economy, is currency. Was it crass? Absolutely. Did it generate outrage clicks and keep her name trending? Indisputably. Now, the hand-wringing over harmful stereotypes is predictable. The argument goes that she's reinforcing the hypersexualization of black women, perpetuating historical tropes. But that argument often comes from a place of privilege, a comfortable distance from the realities of a young black woman navigating a system stacked against her. For Sexyy Red, the calculus might be, I'll use what I have to get what I want. If that means embracing, and even exaggerating, certain expectations, so be it. This is where the nuance crowd gets uncomfortable. We're not talking about sanitized empowerment seminars. We're talking about a street-smart survival strategy. Is it ideal? Maybe not. But is it effective? Undeniably. To truly understand this, you need to ditch the middle-class morality and consider the limited options available to many young women in marginalized communities. Sexyy Red didn't have a trust fund to fall back on. She didn't have connections to the music industry elite. She had hustle, raw talent, and a willingness to push boundaries. The SkeeYee formula, engineering virality in a post-genre world. SkeeYee isn't just a catchy song. It's a masterclass in viral engineering. The elements are deceptively simple. A repetitive hook, a driving beat, and a raw, unfiltered energy. But the magic lies in the intentional creation of a memeable moment. Think about it. SkeeYee is a primal scream, a release of pent-up energy. It's tailor-made for TikTok, for dance challenges, for collective catharsis. It's not about complex lyrical narratives or intricate instrumentation. It's about immediate impact. The brilliance is in recognizing the shift in music consumption. We're no longer in the era of carefully curated albums. We're in the age of fleeting viral moments. Sexyy Red understood that the key to success wasn't crafting timeless art, but engineering infectious content that could dominate the attention span of a hyper-stimulated generation. This, of course, enrages the purists. They decry the dumbing down of music, the emphasis on surface-level appeal over genuine artistry. But that's missing the point. Sexyy Red isn't trying to be Kendrick Lamar. She's trying to be a cultural force. And in the digital age, that often requires sacrificing artistic complexity for viral potential. Industry control. Is Sexyy Red a puppet or a player? The music industry is a shark tank, and female artists, especially those who challenge conventional norms, are particularly vulnerable to exploitation. The question isn't whether Sexyy Red is completely free from industry influence. It's whether she's consciously navigating that influence to achieve her own goals. Look at the Bruno Mars collaboration. To some, it's a validation of her talent, a sign that she's made it. To others, it's a blatant attempt to sanitize her image, to broaden her appeal at the expense of her authenticity. But what if it's both? What if Sexyy Red recognized the opportunity to tap into a massive fanbase, to leverage Mars' mainstream credibility to amplify her own reach, while simultaneously subverting his squeaky clean image? The key is agency. Is she being told what to do? Or is she choosing to do it with a clear understanding of the potential benefits and risks? The fact that she continues to push boundaries, to challenge expectations, suggests a degree of autonomy that goes beyond mere industry compliance. However, let's not be naive. The music industry is a master of co-opting rebellious voices, of commodifying counterculture. The challenge for Sexyy Red is to maintain her edge, to resist the pressure to dilute her message in pursuit of wider acceptance. The St. Louis factor, authenticity or exploitation of a ghetto pass? The from the streets narrative is a well-worn trope in hip-hop. It's a shorthand for authenticity, for credibility, for a connection to the real struggle. But it can also be a form of exploitation, of romanticizing poverty and hardship for commercial gain. Sexyy Red's St. Louis roots are undeniably integral to her identity. They inform her dialect, her worldview, her artistic sensibility. But does she genuinely represent the struggles of her community, or is she simply using her background to enhance her brand? Again, there's no easy answer. It's possible to be both authentic and strategic, to draw from your lived experiences while also consciously crafting an image that resonates with a particular audience. The key is whether she's giving back, whether she's using her platform to uplift her community, or whether she's simply profiting from its struggles. Her involvement in community outreach programs is a positive sign, but it's crucial to scrutinize her actions, not just her words. The future of Sexyy Red, longevity or lightning in a bottle. The million-dollar question: is Sexyy Red a flash in the pan, a fleeting viral sensation, or a genuine force with staying power? The odds are stacked against her. The music industry is littered with the corpses of one-hit wonders, artists who briefly captured the zeitgeist before fading into obscurity. To survive, Sexyy Red needs to evolve. She needs to demonstrate artistic growth, to move beyond the shock value, and develop a more nuanced and compelling body of work. She needs to connect with her audience on a deeper level, to offer more than just catchy hooks and explicit lyrics. This doesn't mean she needs to abandon her core identity. It means she needs to expand it, to explore new themes, to experiment with different sounds, to challenge herself as an artist. The collaborations with Bruno Mars and the venture into cosmetics suggest she understands this imperative. However, the ultimate key to her longevity lies in her authenticity. If she succumbs to the pressure to conform, to sanitize her image, to become just another manufactured pop star, she'll lose the very thing that made her compelling in the first place. The uncomfortable truth: Sexyy Red reflects our own hypocrisy. The outrage and fascination surrounding Sexyy Red aren't just about her, they're about us. They reflect our own conflicting desires, our own complicated relationship with sex, power, and authenticity. We live in a society that simultaneously condemns and celebrates female sexuality. We preach empowerment while perpetuating unrealistic beauty standards. We demand authenticity while rewarding conformity. Sexyy Red exposes this hypocrisy. She forces us to confront our own biases, our own contradictions, our own uncomfortable truths. She's a mirror reflecting our own cultural anxieties. And that, perhaps, is her greatest contribution. Not just the catchy songs, not just the viral moments, but the uncomfortable conversations she forces us to have. The questions she raises about power, sex, and what it truly means to be authentic in a world obsessed with image. So, is Sexyy Red a force for good or a symptom of decline? That's the wrong question. She's a complex, contradictory figure who embodies the messy, complicated realities of the 21st century. And whether we like it or not, she's here to stay, at least for now. The long game is still being played. Sexyy Red is a shrewd opportunist with raw talent who has managed to weaponize the very tropes that often confine women in the music industry. Her long-term success hinges on her ability to evolve beyond shock value and build a brand that is both authentic and sustainable. The industry will try to mold her, sanitize her, and ultimately control her. Whether she can resist those forces and carve out her own path remains to be seen. But one thing is certain: she's not going down without a fight.